Alrighty, and welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm bringing you all a Lone Gaze Best Teams video guide, and I'm just going to be going over all of the teams. I think I probably spent 18 battles today just testing various types of comps in order to help my teammates out, my guildmates rather, because a lot of them still do not have a Rainier Mythic Plus, and so I was trying to see if there was any other teams that could do well, and I have found that even if you have a lower Ascension Rainier, that he is going to do a lot better than some of these other teams that are available. But I'm just going to go over some of the teams that I did today. So this is the one that I've used to currently get my best score, which is like 1.3 million or something like that, almost 1.3 million. So we're going to take a look at my server. My server is very sweaty here. This is S25, and our grouping is basically S25 through S28. Here's our top 20. There's quite a bit going on, and it's very difficult to stay in the top ranks for this bracket. I'm just surprised I was able to do so well with this because I am about 15 to 20 reso levels behind everybody, and so it's just very difficult to keep up with them. So this is the best team, and I'm going to go over and pool and showcase. So this is the end results that I got, and here is the damage breakdown for that team that I got. So as you can see here, Odie did by far just solo carried everything, but Thorn actually did very well in this as well, and that's due to mostly his new seasonal skill where increases the damage dealt to the target after dealing damage to that target with normal attacks. So he's further increasing the amount of damage that they're doing, and then he's gaining a bunch of damage back because he's receiving a lot of damage. So during those, especially that wolf phase, he's able just to take a whole lot of damage. Now this did very, very good for me, but there's actually a variation on this comp which did very well for me as well. And let me go ahead and see if I could find that. And so instead of supporting Rainier here on the side, basically you swap this over like this, and this also did very well for me. It was very close. I think I was doing 1.2 billion with this instead of 1.3 billion. This does very well as well, just the other one is more optimized. I also did try the previous Lone Gaze best comp, which was a Merrily instead, and then you put her in here, and then Rainier was swapped with Coco, and then instead of running Star Shard, you were using Crescent Spell, because I didn't have any of these unlocked yet. So this was actually my best run with the previous Lone Gaze, but in running it here, I was only able to do about 800 million, which is still fairly decent. It's just, you know, not the best. And I also did try a couple of other various comps as well. One of them is more for the lower players that do not have a Rainier Mythic Plus. Like I said at the beginning, Rainier Mythic Plus is still going to be better than a lot of these comps, but instead you run mostly Maulers here. So you actually run Antandra, who, just because she is able to survive quite a bit, then you run it like this. Then you have Kruger here on the side. Then you have Odie. So you run this as another good way of surviving. Just because I tested with both Antandra and Shakir, and because you aren't able to throw Odie and Coco closer to the front, Shakir's aura in keeping people alive isn't quite as strong as being able to do it with Antandra. However, Antandra does need to be Mythic Plus just so she can get her EX weapon here ready, just because without it, then she isn't able to keep people alive. So this also did fairly well. I think it lasted a little bit longer. It was about like 850 million using this comp, and so this is the final comp that I used. But of course, again, the best one I had, I'll go ahead and do one more run for you guys just so you could see it in action, is going to be this Thorn plus additional people. What I did not test was Alsa, just because she tends to be fairly squishy for this. She wasn't quite doing as well as I wanted to in most of my testings, but I also did see fairly successful runs using Florabelle instead of a Rainier, and just because the amount of summons could basically bait the wolf's attacks with his his wolf pack attacks, because it was random enemies. So it's all RNG, of course, but you're able to survive a little bit longer just because your main heroes are not getting hit by those attacks. So you are able to survive a little bit longer, and I'll just go ahead and run that. So that's my quick breakdown of all of these very these types of comps, you know, I hope one of them works for you. This is of course the one that worked the best for me. There's a lot of variation, and I was surprised that it didn't change quite as much as it had been from the last time. I think it was Common 1 was the first iteration was Lone Gaze, so I think there was 2 people in my district who were able to get into Common 2 on the first day. Then now that we're on here, I don't know how many iterations it's been, but Lone Gaze has gone back in rotation, so this is the second time attempting him. There have been some differences. We have more artifacts unlocked. I think there's only one more artifact that can be unlocked under the current standards, so we'll see if we'll get more artifacts from Dur's trial, as well as additional locations for rewards. So that was unfortunate. I did lose my Smokey early there. I have about 20 seconds left, so we'll see how much more damage I could crank out in the last 15 seconds here and see if they could survive. I don't think they're gonna be lasting much longer here, but yeah, another thing to note is whenever I used Shakir, there was a lot of RNG with it. So sometimes I was hitting the 800 million, and other times I was like dying at like 400, 500 million. So this one, yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope it helped you guys, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.